So in this section, we will be understanding and seeing the demonstration of the app which we are going to make. Now, functionally, where this app is going to be used, we have two apps. One is the analytical application. So this is the analytical app, and second is a form app. Now, the analytical app is like a monitoring dashboard which will be always opened or will be always up and running. So this app should not be refreshed to update the value. So that is one of the challenge we have. So it will be somewhere in a screen which is always up and running. So imagine we have a boardroom, and this app or this analytical app is part of that boardroom. We have a screen, and this particular app will be displayed on that screen, and that particular screen will not be refreshed to see the updated value. Now, what we have information in this particular graph. So we have a stacked bar chart and we have a tile graph. Now in the stacked bar chart, we have what is the actual cost we had and what is the planned cost we have. So in the blue, you can see that we have the planned cost, and the orange we have the actual cost, and this green is the variance. So here in this case, it is minus 1000. So we incur 1000 more, and this can be in millions or whatever the currency or denotions can be, but I'm just keeping it simple for us to absorb the technicality in building such kind of projects. So this is the dashboard which don't have the capability, or which we should not be refreshing to update, or whenever some update happens, things should automatically come here. And this is basically the next month, February and March. So we have to show this for the 3 consecutive months, March, February and January, the particular, what are the values of actual and planned, and what is the variance. And here the interesting thing, or the thing which we have to actually worry about, or the management people will be mostly keeping an eye on this. They will be seeing what is the percentage of the variance we have. For example, in January it was minus 25, in February 50% plus. So we actually were able to predict better in February, or the result of the cost spending. If you see the actual here, it is 2000, and in planned it was 4000. So it was a positive 50, and then we have a 25% positive. So we spend less. So the plan was 4000, but we actually spent only 3000. So these 3 tiles shows in a quarter, which is a 3-month period, what is the status or comparison from our plan to actual. Now, what we have in this particular app is a way to update those planned or the projections. So if I say I want to update January, February, March, so in the March, the manager or the higher management people will select March, and they will enter March month, February month and January month value. So I'm mentioned n-1, n-2. So this is a functional terms which our functional team will be suggesting us, because a lot of time when we work on projects, there are some keywords or abbreviation which the functional group of people which are day-to-day working in the field are aware about or are popularly using. So this is one of the terms: month n-1, month n-2. So the higher management people will be filling in the 3 months projections by this particular form, and they will select the first month. So for example, n month, which is, if it's April, then this will be April month projection. This will be March month projection, n-1, and n-2 will be February month projection. So this is a simple UI5 app, and once I update it, what will happen is we will be updating the business rule decision table. So if I go into my BRF, so let me see. If I go for rules, then rule editor, and we will be building it from scratch again, the BRF part mostly. But before that, I would like to give you the demonstration of how these are all set. So if you see here in the e-commerce offers, we have this is comprised of multiple rules, but the one which we have used is e-commerce rule. So you can see that there will be a table in which entire year projection actually sits. So this is the decision table, and we have December, November, September, August. All the projection are actually set. Now by default, some of the projection will be having initial value like 0 or some 1000 value. But if they are set, you can basically use them anywhere with the APIs. For example, if a business user is updating the values from here and trying to call the BRF to update the decision table, then the 3 months value will be updated. So this particular app will be updating the BRF table. Now once the table is updated, then anywhere in our landscape, if someone is using those projection value, will be getting the updated value. But one of the challenge which still remain is that this is a monitoring dashboard, so we cannot really refresh it. So how will we be updating the changes here without refreshing the particular values in the decision table out here? Now let's go and see a demonstration of this app working. So I will bring this app out and I will try to arrange this app side by side so you can see both of these apps up and running and working. So let's see. So we have the Analytical App, which is the dashboard, and then we have the management app. So, and if you see the BRF, let me refresh to see the current values or the updated value in this decision table. So here what will happen is, first we will be using my management screen and entering the value. But before that, let's verify what is the content here. So we have 4000, 4000, 4000 as the March, February, Jan value. This app is up and running, and with that projected value, it is showing the result. Now, once I enter March here as month end, and then I say 5000, 7000 and 8000. So I'm giving higher value. So these are the projections. These are not the actual values. These are the projections which in this form user will be entering. So once this projection is entered, let's update it. You can see that the KPI field changed. Now why this is 0? The main reason why this is 0 is because the actual and planned both are 5000. So we hit the target. So in a way, that's a good news. Fine. So as soon as I enter the value, you can see the changes here. And if I go inside my BRF and I try to refresh to see if the value has been changed in my BRF, then we'll confirm that in a moment. So if I refresh it, let the decision table load. And here you can see 5000, 7000, 8000. So these are the values which we entered with this app, which is the management app. And without refreshing, our KPI Analytical App is changed. Now, the way it is happening, the without refresh, is with a messaging system. You can use the enterprise messaging system from the SAP Cloud Platform. Also, you can go for other PubSub services from Google Cloud Platform, or you can use PubNub, which we have shown in the previous sections or previous courses how to use it. So we have tons of messaging way where you can stream data. So we are both making these two apps stream to each other. So mostly the management app will be streaming the data in a channel, and that monitoring app is subscribed to that channel. Whenever some data is updated, this app will be basically updated as well without the need to be refreshed. Now the primary reason or the primary work for these applications is to update the BRF, and here we have seen that the BRF services has been updated. Also the monitoring app has been updated. Now the next time we refresh this app, we will be getting these value, because the first load we have to basically consider these values. So in the first load, our monitoring app, if you're starting it, then should query the BRF and take that value. Okay, so this was a simple example. This is a little over complex example. Now, why the main reason is that because we want to show you how two things work together. Now, one thing can work smoothly, but when we have two things or two or more things able to work together frictionlessly, then we will be able to use that information and put that in our landscape with the same setup or architecture. We will see multiple drawbacks, what we cannot do or what cannot happen, and how we achieved it. Now, how we will proceed to develop this application. Now, we will consider the analytical dashboard and the form UI5 app as a pre-built starting point app. So I will remove all the code which we have put, which is correlated to BRF. We will have KPI fields and a graph here, analytical graph, and we have just this form without any event handler. And from that point, we will start to go and develop this setup. And it's because if we try to build also the analytical app and also the form, it might take 4 and 5 hours, and we want to cover these topics in our upcoming 2019 update of UI5. So if you want to learn the UI5, then this is the course which I will highly recommend. But for now, I will focus my attention on BRF and syncing the data, how the API calls are made, how you can use it in your UI5 app with all this structure. Okay, so let's continue in the next section, where before going into the development mode, I would like to discuss the basic architecture or overall architecture, how we plan to present or how we plan to develop this.